Hey guys, today I am filming a video showing you all the products I have hit pan on in my collection. I have filmed 3 of these on my channel in the past. I will have those videos linked down below in case you want to see some more pan porn. Now, some of these products are repeats from last year's video, but quite a few of them I have expanded the pan since then, so hopefully you guys won't be bummed by that. I just want to show you everything I've hit pan on in my collection. So I've got some face products and a bunch of eyeshadows here, and unfortunately this here does not account for all of the items that I have used up this year, but I am doing a year-long Project Pan makeup use up. I'll have that playlist linked up in the cards, and I show you guys all of my makeup empties in those videos. Also this year I have actually used up quite a few ColourPop Super Shock shadows. So I have a bunch here I've hit pan on, but a bunch that I've also used up. So I feel really happy this year. I have made so much more progress on eyeshadows than I have in previous years. Starting with the face products, the first item I have is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NC15. I did have this in my video last year, but I have greatly expanded the pan and worn down the sides. So this comes in the same compact as one of their eyeshadows, except it doesn't have the pan in it, and you actually have this entire container full of concealer, which is amazing, and you're definitely getting a lot of product for your money. I use this on a daily basis to help clean up my eyeshadow and to help clean up my eyebrows, fill in my forehead wrinkles. I don't actually use this as a blemish concealer or an under eye concealer, but this is an item that I do use on a daily basis, so I definitely do see myself repurchasing this in the future. I only have one face powder to show you this year, and that's because I've mostly been using loose powders, but the one I've hit pan on is my Rimmel Stay Matte in the transparent shade. I did have this in last year's video, but I did use that one up and I hit pan on a new one. This is my holy grail touch-up powder. It does an amazing job about soaking up my oil without making me look cakey. This is also really great to set my really oily areas, so I absolutely love this. I will repurchase this forever and ever, and I highly recommend this. So now we have the really exciting accomplishments, which would be the cheek products. So I have hit pan on 2 bronzers, 1 blush, and 2 highlighters. The first bronzer is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer. This is an amazing drugstore bronzer. I highly recommend this, especially if you have a fair or light skin tone. The bronzer shade is more neutral. The formula of this bronzer is amazing. It looks so beautiful on the skin. It's really hard to go overboard with this or look like you're wearing too much product. This is such an easy formula to work with, so I will definitely repurchase it once I use this up. And the second bronzer I hit pan on is Benefit Hoola. This is an amazing bronzer. I've actually used up one completely in the past, and I have repurchased and hit pan on another one. This was one of my very first bronzer loves, and it is still incredible. I think that this color is a great neutral tone on my fair, warm complexion. Some people like to use this for contouring, some for bronzing. I use it as a bronzer, and I think it is beautiful. Very pigmented without being overly pigmented, and it's very easy to blend out. So these are 2 of my holy grail bronzers that I see myself purchasing forever and ever. The one blush I hit pan on I showed you guys last year, and it was a super surprise to me because I don't consider this one of my all-time favorite blushes, and that would be Benefit Coralista. It is a beautiful light peachy pink shade. It has a really nice shimmer to it. This is a go-to for me in the springtime. I have so many blushes that it is amazing that I've hit pan on any of them. I do think that this is a really nice formula. However, once I use this up, I don't see myself repurchasing it because I have other corally peachy blushes that I prefer, but I do think this is a good one. The first one is Becca's Pearl, which is a very shimmery white highlight. This can look really intense, so I tend to wear this in the winter time when I'm at my most fair, and when I'm wearing more cool tone makeup. I just think this is most flattering with other cool tone products. This is a very powdery formula. It sits on top of my skin, so I would not repurchase this once I use it up, but I would love to try Moonstone. That looks like a really fantastic color for my skin. And the other shade is my all-time favorite holy grail, theBalm Mary LouManizer. This is the perfect champagne highlighter for my skin tone that isn't too deep, and it's super reflective. If I could only have one highlighter in my collection, it it would be this one. Whenever I use this up, I will absolutely repurchase it. So I only have one eyebrow product I have hit pan on. This is the Lorac Take a Brow Kit in the shade Blonde. In this kit, you get a little angled brush I have gotten rid of. You get a clear brow wax and 2 different shades of brow powder. These brow kits come in 4 different shades. They have technically been discontinued, but you can still find them from the Lorac website for about $11 with free shipping. So highly recommend you check them out. This is my favorite brow powder. This is a blonde shade that is a bit more warm tone without being red. I am wearing this in my brows today, and it really matches the color that I dye my hair, which is this strawberry blonde. This I have quite a few backups of because I love it so much. Really pigmented. It lasts really well on my brows. Highly, highly recommend this. So the rest of the video is going to be eyeshadows, starting with 2 cream eyeshadows I have, both from Maybelline. These are some of their color tattoos. This is the shade Pomegranate Punk, which is a gorgeous cranberry color that was unfortunately discontinued. And then I have the shade Caramel Cool, which is a gorgeous coppery color that was unfortunately limited edition. But these are 2 that I have revived quite a few times because I think the colors are amazing and they are essential in my eyeshadow collection. I love using the Maybelline color tattoos for bases. I love bases. I think that they really punch up my eyeshadow look. So both of these I will probably repurchase in the future if I can. It will probably be hard to repurchase the Caramel Cool, but I do have other shades similar to this one in my collection, so I guess I wouldn't repurchase this, but I would try to go out of my way to find one of these online. And this will probably be easier because it was discontinued instead of this one, which was limited edition. But anyway, love the formula of these and these colors especially. And then I have 6 ColourPop Super Shock shadows that I have hit pan on, but as I said, I have used up quite a few shadows as well. I finished one last year in a maze, and then this year so far I have finished up Lala, Weenie, Just for Fun, Get Lucky, and Summer Lovin'. Spoiler for my Project Pan update coming up, but that's amazing. I have found a great technique to really be able to work with them once they've dried out and to use them up. I still love the Super Shocks. I know a ton of people are over them. They're amazing for the lid if you get a pearlized or an ultra metallic finish. I do actually have 2 matte shades here that I enjoy, but overall I do not purchase or recommend the matte or satin shades. They're just not as easy to work with. But the 2 colors I have here would be Bill and Brady. Bill is more of a cool tone purple and Brady is more of a warm tone rosy shade. Both of these are light enough that I can use them as a transition or crease color with my other Super Shocks, and they work nicely for that. I also like using these together. So these are ones that I want to try to use up next year if I can. I think it will be a lot more difficult to use up the matte shades just because I have to apply them differently, but I do like both of these, but I probably won't repurchase them just because it's much easier for me to use matte pressed powder shadows for transition and crease, and then one of those Super Shock shimmery shades on the lid. And then I have 4 brighter shades that are my go-to for spraying that I have hit pan on. The first one I think is a new pan, and this is Flower Shop. It is a pearlized finish. This is such a beautiful turquoise shimmery color, amazing, and with more of like a warm brown in the crease is how I tend to wear it. And then I also have the shade Belladonna Lily, which is a matte finish. This is a really bright blue tone mint that is really pretty as a pop on the lid. Then a shade that is pretty similar is Snapdragon. This is also a matte finish. When you compare these 2, Snapdragon is deeper, a little dustier, and also this one is more green. Belladonna Lily is lighter, brighter, and more blue. You definitely don't need them both though. I'm just a ColourPop Super Shock addict. And the last one here is the shade Daddy, which is a disgusting name. This is a pressed pigment finish because this one with this intense color will probably stain your lids, and it has different ingredients in it. So that's usually what ColourPop calls their neon shades, are pressed pigments, because they can't technically sell them as an eye product. So out of all of these, I think I would definitely repurchase Flower Shop and Daddy. These are the most unique to me, and I do really like Belladonna Lily and Snapdragon, and I get some good use out of them in the spring, but I'm not sure if I'd repurchase. I mean, ColourPop discontinues my favorite products all the time, so it depends on if they're even still available. Now moving on to some pressed powder shadows. I have some individuals, and then I do also have some in palettes. The first one I have here is the L'Oreal Infallible Eyeshadow in Amber Rush, which is a stunning, very intensely metallic rose gold. This is one of my favorite shades for the winter time. Actually, I really like pairing this with more mauve tone shades in the crease. Such an amazing shade, and even though I do have a bunch of rose golds, this is one of the best performing, so I think I actually would repurchase that one. So then I have three individual shadows here I've hit pan on. The first one is Makeup Geek's Cupcake, which is a really pretty mauve color I like using as a transition shade. Then we have Anastasia Dusty Rose. You can see these are similar, but Dusty Rose is deeper and a little bit more purple, while Cupcake has more pink to it. And this shade here is Birkin, which is a really nice warm tone transition color, but it does not pull too orange. I absolutely love this one, and if I use up any of these, I would definitely repurchase them. I think that these are such amazing shades, and I love the formula of all of them. And now I have shadows from palettes that I have hit pan on. The first one here is ColourPop Full Zip. This is in the Yes Please palette, but this is also one of their single shades, and this is just a matte cream color I use to set my eyeshadow primer. The next shade I have is Urban Decay Foxy. This is in the Naked 2 palette, and I just use this to set my eyeshadow primer. So right now I'm just trying to use up all of the matte creams I have in different palettes, but I wouldn't purchase any of these palettes just for the matte creams. Once I use all of them up, I'm going to repurchase Wet n Wild Brulee, which is my favorite matte cream, and it is a single shadow. Next we have theBalm Meet Matte Nude. Such an amazing matte eyeshadow formula, and I have hit pan on my two favorite shades. The first is Matte Malloy, which is a matte white. I use this to set the primer under my brow bone. Because I'm very fair, I can get away with using this as a brow bone highlight. I love this shade so much. This actually reigns supreme over all of the other matte whites I have in my collection, so I'll be sad once I use it up, but I think I have something in mind that will be a good replacement for it. Then I've also hit pan on Matte Singh, which is a really beautiful peachy tan shade I love using as a transition color, so I really do enjoy this palette. I don't think I'll repurchase it once I use it up, because it's really these three shades right here that I use and love, but I do love those three quite a bit, but I definitely recommend this formula in general. So the last two palettes I have hit pan on would be my Anastasia eyeshadow palettes. From Modern Renaissance, I've completely used up Tempera, which I was using to set my eyeshadow primer. This is a satin finish cream shade. I don't like this one because it did look pretty shimmery on the eye, which was really annoying to me. I wish that was a true matte. And I've also hit pan on Buon Fresco. This is in this palette, but you can also buy it as a single. This is a beautiful transition color. Compared to Makeup Geek Cupcake, Cupcake is more pink. This one is a bit more purple, but compared to Dusty Rose, that Dusty Rose shade is a little darker, a little bit more purple with some brown, and this one is like a pinky purple, so I like using this with Dusty Rose, and I'll use this as a transition color, Dusty Rose as a crease color. So this is definitely a favorite shade of mine. If I use up the one in this palette, I would definitely repurchase the single. And lastly is the palette that I love looking at the most. It would be my Anastasia Tamanna palette. I have really done some damage on this one. So I've hit pan on two shades and completely used up three. So I had the shade Fresh, which was a matte cream color, but it did have more of a pinky undertone. I used that to set my primer. Then we had the shade Blush, which was a champagne shade. I use that as a cheekbone highlight because I don't love champagnes on my lid. And then we had the shade China Rose, which was really similar to NARS Orgasm. I do like this as an eyeshadow, but I decided to use it up as a blush. All those shades are beautiful, but I wouldn't repurchase any of them. Then we do have the shade Gilded, which is a really pretty golden bronze color. I do like this one, but it isn't my most favorite because it's a little too shimmery brown on me, and I don't love shimmery browns. I like something more of a true bronze, so that one's just okay, but it is exclusive to this palette, so you can't buy it individually, unfortunately. But this shade Bengal is a gorgeous matte caramel color. Again, it is a warm tone brown without being orange. I love pairing this with Birkin. Birkin as a transition color, Bengal as a crease color. I am very lucky that this shade is sold individually, so once I use it up in this palette, I definitely will buy it as a single because I love it that much. So guys, those are all the products I have hit pan on in my collection. I would love to know what items you've hit pan on in the comments down below, and I would love to know your thoughts on any of the products I mentioned here today. Thank you so much for watching. watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.